welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're decoding something that is honestly just truly unique. We are looking at how one brilliant woman takes abstract, deeply contemplative poetry and literally turns it into a concrete, real-world blueprint for global transformation. Now, I know we usually think of poetry as, something meant just to be read and felt, but what if it was actually a strategic manual for action? Like, what if a poem could outline exactly how your individual human agency transforms the global economy? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack today.
Heads bowed, ears praise. I want you to just let the staccato rhythm of those words sink in for a quick second. It's quiet, right? It's deliberate, deeply observant. This isn't some loud, chaotic call to arms. It starts with reverence, with listening. This really immersive rhythmic tone sets the stage for a profound methodology of change. Because before we can act, we gotta listen. And before we can fully grasp this methodology, we need to meet the fascinating mind who actually wrote these words.
So meet Oluyomi Oladavid. Through her platform, Oluyomi Oladavid Insights, she isn't just a poet writing verses up in the clouds. No, she's a deeply analytical thinker who uses her entirely unique vision to influence global policy and generate real, tangible solutions. She essentially bridges the gap between technical insights, policy briefs, and poetic contemplations. It's such a rare combo, bringing this profoundly creative, human-centric lens to the usually pretty rigid world of strategy and global development.
If we look a little closer at her background, she very confidently establishes exactly who she is and what drives her. She states, "I am a Nigerian and I love people." And honestly, that right there is the absolute bedrock of her work. She is a thought leader who genuinely deeply cares about the human beings sitting at the receiving end of the policies she helps shape. Because she loves people, she's driven to, as she puts it, enjoy generating solutions, influencing policy and strategy, and providing clarity. She doesn't just want to talk about change, guys, she wants to engineer it.
But to really get her drive, you have to understand her foundation. She openly shares her spiritual anchor, noting, "My Father God owns and rules the universe. He is the wheel within my wheels." So this isn't just some passive belief for her. It acts as the actual driving engine behind her ambition to change the world. It gives her that unshakable confidence and that perpetual momentum, that wheel within her wheels, to tackle these massive systemic issues in global development.
Part 1. Anatomy of Action. Physical Microactions.
Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to look at exactly how she maps out this transformation in her poem, Agent Change. She effectively breaks down human potential into these physical microactions, almost like an anatomical study of how a human being actually creates change in the world. Starting right with our basic senses: eyes grab, lips store, looks tell. Notice that really punchy staccato pacing? Well, in the world of policy and strategy, this is data collection. You have to observe your environment sharply. Your eyes grab what's happening. You process and hold on to that info. Your lips store it. And your nonverbal understanding communicates volumes. Your looks tell. Change absolutely has to begin with acute, active observation. From there, the micronarrative moves from simple observation to actually taking on responsibility. Shoulder bear. This is all about carrying the weight of the work. If you want to change your environment, you got to bear the burden of leadership and effort. But it's not just physical labor, right? It's emotional. It's intellectual. Hearts teach. Once you bear the responsibility, you then have to impart your passion and your knowledge to others. You teach straight from the core of your being. She then points out some specific, critical, active steps in her problem-solving process. Youth ponder. Now this highlights the unique, energetic contemplation and the fresh perspectives of the younger generation. It's this intellectual vitality that is just absolutely crucial for innovation. And then, bodies serve. Because ultimately, all the observation and all that pondering must translate into physical service. You got to put your boots on the ground. Your body literally has to do the work.
Part 2. Action and Virtues. The Moral Compass.
Now, what's really interesting here is how she translates those physical actions into essential workplace and societal virtues. She doesn't just want us moving around aimlessly, she wants us moving with a highly specific moral and ethical compass that guarantees success. She lists these specific virtues, but look at how she pairs them with action verbs. Patience make, meaning patience isn't just passively waiting, it's something you actively create and practice. Prudence love, you have to have a deep affinity for careful, good judgment. Truth free. This one is incredibly powerful in policy. Truth isn't just a concept, it's something you must actively liberate and set free in spaces where it might be hidden away. And ask justice. You must demand fairness. She believes these are the absolute non-negotiable tools for any successful policy influencer.
And this brilliantly illustrates the exact connection between her artistic expression and her professional reality.
In her poem, she calls for steps climb and work show, which is a beautiful rhythmic way of saying we have to put in the visible effort and elevate ourselves. But when we look at our literal resume and mission statement, that translates directly to generating solutions and influencing policy. The poetry is the raw, emotional blueprint, and the policy work is the concrete building that results from it.
As we continue through her methodology, she frames resilience so beautifully here. Alien flee, pillars stand. By pillar stand, she means standing firm, having a totally unshakable foundation in your work and your ethics. And when you stand like a pillar, the aliens, which we can easily interpret as obstacles, inefficiencies, corruption, or really anything contrary to progress, well, they flee from your path. Your steadfastness literally forces the negative elements out. You can really feel the momentum building in her poem here. Channels open. This is a highly tangible goal in societal transformation, unblocking pathways, whether we're talking about economic trade routes, communication lines, or just massive bureaucratic bottlenecks. When channels open, bones rise, and arms stretch. This perfectly represents a society or an economy waking up, stretching its limbs, and reaching its full potential simply because the blockages have finally been removed.
Part 3. The resulting transformation. Measurable outcomes.
So what happens when all these microactions, all these virtues, and all this resilience are actually put into play? What's the measurable outcome? Well, these lines showcase the bountiful results of her process. Life abound. The standard of living increases. But look at this next part. Time multiply. In economics, we know time and resources are always scarce. But she's suggesting that when human agency is applied correctly, when we operate with truth and prudence, our efficiency just skyrockets. It miraculously feels like time and resources are multiplying, allowing us to achieve exponentially more.
Light shine. Hunts zero. Fruits satisfy. The phrase hunts zero is particularly striking to me. Think about it. What is a hunt? A hunt is a search born out of necessity or even desperation. When the light shines on effective policy solutions, the hunt for basic survival drops to zero. It is the complete and total elimination of lack. And when the struggle for survival finally ends, the fruits satisfy. The community actually gets to sit back and enjoy the satisfying rewards of their labor and a well-structured economy.
So the crucial point is right here at the very end of her text. She culminates all of this with the phrase, agency transforms economy units. This is the ultimate bottom-line definition of her philosophy. She sees every single person, every single purposeful human action as a critical unit that is fully capable of transforming the global economy. You are an agency transforms economy unit. Your daily actions, your steps climbing, your truth freeing, your active patience, these aren't just nice personal traits, they are the literal building blocks of a better global structure.
Which leaves us with this final vital question. How will your agency transform your surroundings today? Oluwayomi Ola-David has shown us through her incredibly powerful words that change isn't some massive, untouchable wave that happens to us. It's the sum total of our eyes grabbing, our shoulders bearing, and our work showing. It literally starts with you. I hope this exploration of her structured, poetic wisdom has given you a totally new framework for your own potential. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I challenge you to go out and be that agent of change today.